Welcome to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of presence, and where we uncover the truths modern society refuses to teach men. Some wounds are too deep for time to heal. Some betrayals aren't just mistakes. They are violations of your soul, your trust, your vision of love. In a world where weakness is disguised as compassion and boundaries are labeled as toxicity, men are constantly told to forgive and forget. But here, in the Stoic Golden Tribe, we say, forgive, maybe, forget, never, tolerate it again? Absolutely not. This video is not about bitterness, it's about clarity, it's about strength, it's about knowing when a line has been crossed so deeply that no apology, no gesture, and no second chance is enough to rebuild what was broken. These are the 8 betrayals in relationships that you should never forgive, not because you are heartless, but because you love yourself too much to be disrespected twice. Backed by historical truths, real stories of love and loss, and guided by emotional intelligence, we're going to unpack the hidden lessons behind these deep betrayals. We're going to remind every man watching that your peace is not up for negotiation. So sit back, pay close attention, and remember, this is not just a lesson in love, it's a lesson in self-worth. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment below to let us know which truth resonated most with you. Now let's dive in. Chapter 1. The Betrayal of Loyalty. When love turns into strategy. Loyalty is not just a virtue. For a man, it's the very bedrock of intimacy. When a woman betrays your loyalty, it's not just about who she was with or what she did. It's about the message she sends: you were never enough. Let's begin by defining this betrayal clearly. Strategic betrayal happens when someone stays with you, not out of love, but out of convenience. They calculate your value like a stock price: high today, gone tomorrow. This is not the fiery passion of true romance. It's cold, it's manipulative, and it's dangerous. You don't have to look far into history to find how painful betrayal can be. Take Julius Caesar, a man who rose through military genius, charisma, and raw masculine power. His greatest betrayal didn't come from foreign enemies. It came from Brutus, his close ally, the one he called a son. Caesar didn't die from the blade alone. He died from the shock that someone he trusted would turn. In relationships, a man's greatest danger is not always the woman who hates him. It's the one who pretends to love him, while plotting a better deal in silence. We live in an era where loyalty is often mocked, where women are told to keep their options open, and where society promotes comfort over commitment. But you must learn to read the signs of strategic love. Is she with you because of who you are, or because of what you provide? True loyalty isn't tested when things are good. It's proven when you're broke, when you're broken, when you're doubted by the world. If she's only around when the sun is out, she'll vanish when the storm hits. The emotional intelligence. Behind it, men with high emotional intelligence don't just listen to words. They watch for patterns, they watch for micro-betrayals, those subtle moments that reveal the truth. She dismisses your dreams in front of others. She downplays your sacrifices. She hides conversations, passwords, or suddenly becomes private. She compares you to other men, as if to measure your worth. She jokes about leaving or flirts publicly for fun. These are not harmless. These are fractures in the foundation. If a woman plays chess with your loyalty, seeing you as a stepping stone until something better comes along, you owe her nothing. Not another month. Not another argument. Not another ounce of your peace. This betrayal must never be forgiven. Because once a woman learns that you'll tolerate disrespect, she will lose both respect and desire for you. And worse, you will lose respect for yourself. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If you accept betrayal, your identity begins to rot. If you defend your standards, you become stronger. Even through the pain, love is not unconditional. Respect must be earned. And loyalty is not negotiable. If she crosses this line, if she breaks your loyalty while still smiling in your face, walk away like a king who knows his worth. No second chances, not out of anger, but out of wisdom. Drop a comment below. I protect my peace by honoring my worth. Chapter 2. Emotional Infidelity. The betrayal you can't see. Not all betrayal happens between the sheets. Some of the most damaging betrayals in a relationship happen without a single touch. It's called emotional infidelity, and it is often more devastating than the physical kind. This betrayal is subtle, quiet, and dangerously overlooked by most men. It begins with private messages, hidden smiles, long conversations with just a friend. She claims it's harmless, but deep down you feel something is off. And you're right. When a woman starts sharing her emotions, secrets, and inner world with another man, she's already opened the door to betrayal. It's no longer your place she runs to for emotional safety. It's someone else's. One of the most infamous love stories in history is that of King Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. Though their story ended in scandal and execution, what few talk about is how their emotional connection began long before any physical affair. Anne captivated Henry not just with beauty, but with attention, flattery, and emotional availability. She slowly became his confidant, even while he was married to Queen Catherine. The betrayal began not with the body, but with the heart. This is how emotional cheating works. It rewires connection. It shifts intimacy. It devalues the man who thought he was the center of her world. And once that bond is formed with another man, returning to your relationship feels like drinking from a poisoned cup. What emotionally intelligent? Men understand emotionally. Intelligent men do not ignore red flags in the name of trust. They don't turn a blind eye to emotional secrets, late-night texts, or emotional closeness with just a friend. Here are signs of emotional infidelity you should never ignore. She starts confiding in another man about your relationship problems. She shares jokes, songs, or secrets with him that you're not part of. She hides messages or becomes defensive about her phone. She compares your emotional support to his. She begins to emotionally detach from you while appearing energized by someone else. Some might say, at least she didn't sleep with him. But that's a lie that weak men tell themselves to avoid the truth. Emotional betrayal is not innocent. It's often the gateway to everything else. Because a woman who's emotionally checked out is just waiting for an excuse to walk away, or someone to walk toward. As a man, your relationship is your kingdom, and your emotional bond is the throne upon which your leadership stands. If another man sits where you once did, if she lets him hear her pain, her secrets, her desires, and hides that from you, then understand this. She has already left the relationship. Her body is with you, but her soul is gone. Forgiving emotional infidelity sends a silent message. I will settle for less than full presence. And once that boundary is broken without consequences, she will never see you the same way again. You don't need to beg. You don't need to fight. You don't need to prove your worth. You simply walk away with dignity. As a man, your relationship is your kingdom, and your emotional bond is the throne upon which your leadership stands. If another man sits where you once did, if she lets him hear her pain, her secrets, her desires, and hides that from you, then understand this: she has already left the relationship. Her body is with you, but her soul is gone. Forgiving emotional infidelity sends a silent message. I will settle for less than full presence. And once that boundary is broken without consequences, she will never see you the same way again. You don't need to beg. You don't need to fight. You don't need to prove your worth. You simply walk away, teared with dignity, because a man who values himself never competes for attention. He commands it, or he leaves. Drop a comment below if you've ever felt that shift in emotional connection. Share your thoughts below. Chapter 3. Public Disrespect. when she destroys you without saying your name. Some betrayals are not hidden. They're done in the open, bold, loud, and humiliating. Public disrespect is one of the most dangerous betrayals a man can face in a relationship, because it doesn't just damage your trust, it destroys your identity. Whether it's insults in front of friends, mocking you on social media, or airing your private business for attention, once she exposes you to the world, the betrayal is no longer just personal. It becomes performative, a stage where your dignity is sacrificed for her ego. And when a woman is comfortable disrespecting you publicly, it's because she no longer fears losing you privately. Even the great Napoleon Bonaparte, one of the most feared military leaders in history, was not immune to this kind of betrayal. He adored Josephine, his wife, wrote her letters soaked in passion, worshipped her from the battlefield. But while he was fighting wars for her glory, she was disrespecting him at home, entertaining other men, gossiping about him in salons, and mocking his love behind his back. What made it worse? She did it publicly. Her disrespect wasn't just an emotional betrayal. It was a calculated humiliation that spread through the court like wildfire. Napoleon eventually divorced her. Not because he stopped loving her, because he finally understood that love without respect is just self-destruction. What public disrespect looks like. Today, in the modern world, public disrespect comes in many forms. She jokes about your masculinity in front of others. She interrupts or corrects you constantly in conversations. She calls you names when she's angry. And it was just a joke. She posts online about your private fights for likes. She compares you to other men in front of friends or family. She flirts with other men openly just to test your reaction. Some of these seem small, but small cracks sink great ships. When you tolerate this kind of behavior, you send the message that you are safe to disrespect. And once that line is crossed, she may never look at you with the same admiration again. Because the truth is, a woman cannot admire the man she embarrasses. She cannot desire the man she emasculates. She cannot stay loyal to the man she no longer respects. Emotional intelligence is not about staying calm while being disrespected. It's about knowing what behavior to never entertain again. A high-value man never fights for approval. He never debates his dignity. He does not yell, argue, or try to make her understand. He acts with presence, with clarity, with boundaries. If she disrespects you publicly, you withdraw access, emotionally, physically, or completely. You show that public dishonor comes with real-world consequences, because a man who respects himself does not need to be loud. His silence speaks volumes, and when you reclaim your power, you remind her and everyone watching that your name will not be used as a punchline. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Being a good man means knowing when kindness becomes weakness and when forgiveness becomes self-betrayal. Never tolerate public disrespect. Not once, not ever. Drop a comment below. Respect starts with you. Let us know what you think below. Chapter 4. Silent Sabotage. When she kills the relationship without leaving. Not every betrayal is loud. Not every wound bleeds. Sometimes the deepest betrayal a man can face is the slow, silent kind. When a woman stops supporting your growth, your purpose, and your vision, but stays just close enough to drain you. This is the betrayal of silent sabotage. She doesn't cheat. She doesn't leave. She just slowly removes her energy, her encouragement, her respect. And instead of helping you rise, she passively watches you fall. And sometimes, secretly, celebrates it. The story of Samson and Delilah is one of the most iconic betrayals in ancient history. Samson was a man of unmatched strength, chosen by God, feared by armies. But Delilah, the woman he loved, pretended to care while secretly working to destroy him. She didn't fight him openly. She didn't insult him. She simply asked questions, gained his trust. And once he laid his head in her lap, believing he was safe, she cut his strength at the roots. This is what silent betrayal looks like. not a knife to the back, but a whisper in the ear while she slowly weakens your spirit. In modern relationships, this kind of betrayal happens quietly, and most men don't see it until it's too late. She discourages your goals or makes fun of your ambitions. She shows no interest in your progress or personal growth. She becomes indifferent to your wins, your struggles, or your vision. She gives minimal effort, but expects maximum loyalty. She says things like, "I didn't think you'd actually do it," or "Why try so hard?" This isn't love, it's emotional laziness. She's not pushing you to be your best. She's watching to see if you'll give up trying. And deep down, it's because your growth threatens her comfort. A man with purpose makes weak people uncomfortable, especially those who benefit from his weakness. And if she can't grow with you, she'll try to anchor you where she feels safe. A man of emotional intelligence doesn't just listen to what she says, he studies how she shows up. Does she bring peace to your life, or confusion? Does she light up when you succeed, or act distant? Is her silence supportive, or suffocating? Women who love you will energize your mission, not drain it. They will speak life into your goals, not mock them. They will challenge you, but with respect, not resentment. If she consistently withholds support, discourages your growth, and downplays your potential, understand. She may not be cheating on your bot, but she's cheating your destiny, and that is a betrayal far more dangerous. You are not here to shrink to fit someone else's comfort. You're here to build, to expand, to conquer. If she cannot support your evolution, you are not obligated to include her in your future. As Marcus Aurelius taught, it is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live. Silent sabotage keeps you half alive. You feel stuck, confused, exhausted, but unsure why. And once you realize the source of the drain, you must do the one thing strong men are often afraid to do: let go of what looks loyal but acts harmful. You owe no one your future who silently worked against your present. Walk away, not in anger, but in awareness. Drop a comment below. Ever felt drained instead of supported? Tell us in the comments.